50 years ago. The circle went where none would go. They saw a crystal underground, discovering a world unfound. The cleric gave his life and limb to bring them safely home again. The guild was born to pave the way to multiverses known today. The council oversees them all, the guild mechanics great and small. They give their souls a sacrifice till Vilium removes the price. Guild mechanics brave and true, your legacy will favor you. World to world and door to door, dimensions never seen before. Trade routes to each verse were made, ambassadors were brought to aid. Much was lost and much was gained, as progress always follows pain. Guild mechanics brave and true, your legacy will favor you. World to world and door to door, dimensions never seen before.
My name is Sarah Davis Reynolds, and I am your game master.
Hi everyone, my name is Attilio Rigotti, and I will be playing Darius Hazard.
Hi guys, my name is Carlina Parker, and I am playing Lavinia Oslick.
And I am Clay Westman. I will be playing Argo Hull.
Welcome to the Mechanics Guild. It has been weeks. Months, perhaps. It's getting difficult to track time. You can't remember the last time you had a truly fulfilling hot meal. You've done your best to build cooking fires out here in the wilderness, but the rats you've managed to catch and roast over the meager flames haven't exactly screamed culinary delight. The soles of your shoes have been worn down by the jagged, rocky terrain of the cliffs you've found yourselves trudging over. You're beginning to wonder, this is what it is now. Aching muscles, delirious minds. You haven't spoken to another soul, save for the two companions alongside you, for days. And still, your compass points you forward. A trace, a glimpse, a whisper of the frequency programmed into your device by the Artifice Wing. You may not know where to find what you seek, but you can know if you're on the right track. Hopefully. Probably. The right track.
There's a lot of tracks. Let's hope we're on the
A
right
lot of
track.
tracks. We're gonna have so many tracks.
It's called a game.
We're gonna flash back a little bit first, though, before we get into our current state of distress. Deep in the Fieri Mountains, where everyone knows it exists, but only the brightest and strongest, or perhaps the most privileged, can make their way to it, lies the Mechanics Guild. A massive network of civilization built directly into the mountain, housing hundreds of guild members and hosting even more ambassadors, both from your homeworld of Solara and from other verses. To you all, it has been home for more than a year. A full year of trials and tests to even become mechanics, and a solid several months of preparation for your first mission since then. Argo, for you, This preparation has been, well, right up your alley. The amount of information you have access to here in the Guild is beyond your wildest dreams. Tomes, scrolls, brains to pick. A veritable treasure trove for the curiosity inclined, not the culinary inclined. You're not eating these brains.
I consume knowledge. Knowledge is my food.
Exactly. What's the calorie of knowledge?
It's pretty low. I'm malnourished.
Okay, great. And the one bit of access you do not have access to whatever frustration you would like that to be, is that of the Traversium. Their logs and research to track down rogue verses is one of the most well-kept secrets in the Guild. Although everyone knows the look of their deep blue, leather-bound notebooks with red stitched borders. Which is why, as you make your way down one of the many corridors in the Common Quarter, you are surprised to see such a journal perched on the edge of one of the stone benches.
Oh, no. Someone's just left untold secrets lying around? Well, I feel it would be irresponsible of me to notice something like that and not take care of it. And, well, who could blame me if it just happened to open while I was walking with it? Oh, there it is. What's inside?
As you reach for the tome, your hand goes to it and it should connect. And as it does, the illusion whiffs away. And you hear a voice. Ha! You really gonna fall for that again, Arg?
Typical. That's really, I'll be honest, I should have been able to pick this up a little bit sooner. That was good.
And from the darkness behind a pillar, a slender elven mage steps forth, her fiery red hair wound so tightly in a braid on her shoulder that she's clearly using magic to keep it there. This is Errol.
Ah, Errol. Funny and good. Really should have known.
Yeah, you really should have. You know, you're the smart one around here.
So what are you up to other than making my life worse?
Oh, well, you know, I've got my mission assigned. I'm preparing. I've heard you've got one too. I'm sure that'll be exciting for you.
Classified. Can't talk about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sure. Classified, or maybe you just don't understand it.
There's nothing I don't understand.
I mean, there are some things. Like people, for example.
It's good to see you, Errol. Looking forward to the next time we bump into each other. Accidentally. It's been a couple of times so far this week, like you said. It's getting a little dull.
Oh, dull? You think that your company is dull? I find great pleasure in your company, Argo.
Well, I guess that makes one of us. And he's going to hike his bag up a little higher on his shoulder and just keep going on his merry way.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last time, not really the last time, but Errol was once your friend.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what your relationship with Errol was.
Before about 3 months ago, they were thick as thieves. Errol was really the only person who was willing to put up with how certain Argo is that he is the smartest person in every room. Because that rubs people the wrong way pretty quickly. His parents always held some space for that, which is very sweet. He owes them a life debt, but he never expected it of anyone else. And the fact that she stayed with him for so long meant a great deal.
That is until he really put his foot in his mouth and told her that he didn't think she would be able to pass.
And she did pass.
That was kind of the last straw for Errol. And Argo doesn't take being wrong very well. And I don't think anybody would take his candor very well either.
Yeah, and Errol also took that as a challenge, saying that she wasn't smart enough. You don't know her entire backstory. You don't know. She was very close to the chest about where she came from. And so while you are searching for things out of a deep drive and curiosity, she seemed to be chasing something for some reason that unfortunately you were not privileged to know. And so to tell her she would not reach the thing that she was chasing was potentially too much strain for this relationship that was already a little imbalanced.
The hardest thing for Argo is knowing how dangerous the life of a mechanic is. He said what he said mostly because he thought it would be the thing that would keep her safe. And it totally backfired, like so many things he does.
And has Argo tried to make amends at any point?
Well, I think Argo has a really hard time being wrong about anything. And so any attempt to bring this up, she's rightfully mad. Clay knows that. Argo doesn't. But any attempt to bring this up and apologize, which is not something he's skilled in the first place, has been so immediately buffeted by her fury
Yeah.
that he doesn't even know where to begin, and it frustrates him to no end, which makes it harder and harder to know how to move forward.
So with that knowledge, Errol has just mentioned that she has been assigned a mission.
Mhm.
Is there any part of Argo that is still worried about her?
Absolutely.
So with this knowledge, what does Argo go do?
He's going to make his way to find out what she's off to do and figure out if there's anything that she really ought to know that maybe she hasn't thought of in advance.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Well, how do you think that Argo would start that process?
If not the Traversium itself, is there another place like a mission log or something that has, whether it's classified or not? He's worried about getting in trouble, but he'll do a little bit of deeper digging for her sake if he can. Because no matter how she feels about him now, he doesn't want anything bad to ever happen to her.
Yeah. You know that missions are assigned by the guild director, Mervina. You know this because she assigned you your mission.
Okay.
So you know what that process is like. You are called into the guild director's office. She gives you a brief that is very well protected and can only be opened by the mechanics who are on that mission.
Mhm.
As far as you know, she is the only one who holds knowledge of who is going where. You do know that there is the library that has information of every verse that has been discovered so far. So if you wanted to do a deep dive into what has been seen and, draw some patterns and analyses, you could do that. You could seek out other members of her guild and see if any of them are more loose-lipped.
That seems like the safest thing. That's just not going to get me into any trouble. Yeah, let me find someone else that she's going to be sent out with. That should be public knowledge, right?
Yeah, no, it is public knowledge who the groups of mechanics are. The
Great.
trios of mechanics is public knowledge.
Yeah, this is before I've gone on my first mission. I don't want to get myself on, in trouble.
I mean, the library is open access. That is all
Sure.
public information, but that would be probably more work. All right, yeah. So if you want to seek out other members of Errol's party instead of just, talking to her,
Not
not an option, simply not an option. You know that her trio consists of, she's sort of the primary wizard in there. There is a primarily dual-wielding fighter named Hasmin, who is from Erst. Erst is a city that is known for its gladiator fights. So this is someone who came up through Colosseums. Getting through this mechanics test was a breeze for him, frankly.
Of course.
And then there is Virillis, who is the daughter of the ambassador from Brem. So there is the council here that the guild sort of oversees. There are ambassadors from the primary cities here in Solara, as well as ambassadors from the verses that have had doors established. And so Virillis is the daughter of Brem's ambassador. She seems competent. There is a question of nepotism, but she at least appears to be holding her own a little
There's
bit.
a question of nepotism, and she is the answer.
And she is the answer.
I think, taking a leaf out of interactions with the fighter in our party, I feel like talking to Hasmin makes the most sense, because having to converse with an ambassador feels like like walking through a landmine to Argo. They're going to have so many more tricks that I don't have for speaking, and they'll probably bring this up to Errol. If their fighter resembles ours, he'll take it to his grave without even realizing it.
That is fair.
Great.
That is very fair. Where would you like to look for him?
Training grounds.
Training
Feels like a
grounds?
safe place to start.
The training grounds here are massive.
Sure.
It's around like 60 to 70 mechanics right now. So it's not the most that they've ever had, but they did just go through these trials. They've just created a lot of trios that they are training to go out. So at this point, the training grounds are very active. There are almost always groups training here ready to go. From the people that you went through these trials with thus far, only 2 groups have been sent out. So you know that you were the 3rd that received a mission. It seems that Errol's group is the 4th that has received a mission. So they have taken some time to kind of go out and do that.
That's a big point of pride for Argo too. He's like just like tucking that in his
Tuck that
back
one.
pocket. Like, I got sent out before her, so still kind of right. Still kind of a little bit.
Still a little right. And yeah, and you do see Hasmin out there. He is a very tall but like dexterously built man. He dual wields swords, and he is out there just beating the shit out of a training dummy.
That rules. Argo is going to kind of timidly walk his way over, dodging out of the way of other combatants as they spar and do their own like warm-ups. When he arrives, he's looking up at this guy because Argo's like 5'4". He's not a big guy. He's pretty scrawny. He's like if you drew a stick figure and then put clothes on that, and then gave him a middle part, and big old what are they called?
Glasses?
Slutty little glasses.
The slutty little glasses?
Slutty little glasses. I was going for full moon. Full moon.
there we
straight
go.
Oh,
up.
yeah. Not slutty.
Not
Ugh,
slutty. I mean,
fine.
you never know.
I was gonna say a full moon.
He it's not even on his radar. But he's gonna go over to Hasmin and be like, trying to be casual, which is not something he excels at. Oh, Hasmin, didn't even see you there sparring. Great hit. I wanted to congratulate you quick on your assignment. I just got an assignment myself. I'm really eager to go out there. Any tips you could offer as a seasoned combatant?
So you monologue for a hot minute to this man who is fully in combat mode. I think we need to do a roll here
I think
to
so.
see
That's fair.
if you get the attention
Okay.
of this combatant. Oh my god, our first roll of the Mechanics Guild.
And it's mine.
Yeah, that's gonna go great for the rest of the campaign.
Oh no, I gave Argo the first thing.
Oh.
Oh no.
I just-
I'm
Well,
sure
actually,
it's gonna be
specifically,
great.
I didn't give Argo the roll. I gave Clay the roll, which is
Mhm.
basically the same thing.
I just want to point out that if you succeed, it's a good omen, and if you fail, it's a bad omen.
Let's not put that much pressure on it.
It is the
but,
first roll.
I think it's the exact right amount of pressure.
Yeah, I
actually.
agree. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna crush this. What shall I roll?
I
for
think this is persuasion because effectively you're not intimidating him.
I'm
You are
not.
just talking.
I-
I think you are trying to persuade him to stop doing what he is doing and pay attention to you.
Yeah, I want to try to argue that this is investigating, but that feels like more like reading clues on the ground and things.
Yeah.
And this is. a
I think if you were
conversation we're
trying
having.
to figure out any information from just looking at him, I would let you do investigation.
Mhm.
But since you have made the decision to talk to him,
Yeah.
I think we're doing persuasion.
Yeah. All right, one thing at a time. Come on, Gary needs a new pair of shoes. That's a 1, baby. That's a 1.
Oh,
First roll of the day,
no.
it lingered on a 19 for what felt like eons.
No, that's a critical one.
Yeah, this is appropriate.
Hey,
Love it. I love it so much.
okay, sorry, I have to look up something really quick. What's your armor class?
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I don't have my shield up right now. There's no way I'm prepared. So
yeah.
14.
Okay, great. I did say he was dual wielding, so that does mean they're just short swords, so it could be worse.
But it's a practice short sword because it's a dummy,
Yeah,
right?
It's made of wood or something, right?
No, it's not.
It's like blunted.
The podcast can't see the look that I am giving these players who are trying to
She
convince
says it's
me.
a sharp sword with her face.
That is what I said.
Recently sharpened.
You walk through these training grounds that all of these hardened warriors are practicing in. You just imagine like you've got all of your tomes and scrolls and everything. You're like trying to hold them as you're like dodging around all of these people as they're fighting. And then you stop dodging to go talk to this person who is so focused on his task. And the last thing you ended on was basically, do you have anything to
Any
give me as a
advice?
any advice as a hardened warrior? And it is when he hears like the word advice, he's clearly been tuning you out, and then comes in right at the last minute and it startles him. And he whirls in reflex, very standard reflex. There's something coming up. He's gonna defend himself. And it is with just the butt end of the sword. It's not the actual blade itself. And it hits you because he's very tall. Hits you square in the shoulder. And is going to hit you for 4 points of damage.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's fair. And still not as bad as it could be.
Yeah. And then he goes, "Oh, sorry, kid. Oh, I didn't see you there. You can't be doing this."
I can't. Hey, that's, you know what? I would have done the same thing in your position.
Okay, all right. Well, just maybe
Yeah, I'll
stretch
give
it
you a
out,
little
stretch it out a little bit,
breathing
and he like comes over to your shoulder and like pushes it back in.
Good. Haven't had that in a minute. Okay. Hey, do you think you could make it up to me? I am kind of curious. What is your first mission?
Oh, well, yeah, we're going to. We're kind of excited about it because we're one of the first ones that are doing a mission on a verse that's already been established. We're going to one that we know about already. Well, I don't understand everything. Something is happening that we need to take a look at. Some maintenance, some repair. So we're going to a world that we already know. But apparently there's a lot more dragons now.
Oh, well, hey, you just hit him with that old blunt side of that sword there, and I'm sure.
Oh, I think I'll use the blade, but thank you for your advice.
Thank you for your time. Is there ice? Do we have ice?
Just go to the medics.
Yeah, the medics. Thanks so much. On his way out, all he's really thinking, Argo has taken a hit before. He's been bullied like for a lot of his life. He needed to play that one up a little bit for like a sympathy, but as long as he knows that they're going to a place that's already established, he's already breathing a bit better. He's confident in, especially after that hit, this guy's ability to protect Errol, and I think he'll just leave it at that and get some ice for this. Certainly going to bruise on his joint.
Oh, absolutely. So you go off to the medics. You get some ice. You get a little bit of tincture that'll take some of the pain off, and go about your way to, your worry at least somewhat sated. Despite being fully underground, the guild has access to the finest arcane mines in the land. And while they do have worlds to find, they also understand the pleasure of some creature comforts. And the Moon Courtyard is one of their proudest creations. A simulated outdoor space, lush with trees, all under a starry night sky, spotlighting a majestic full moon. We're really doing a lot of moon stuff today. Lavinia, this place has become a reflecting spot for you. Quiet, removed, reminiscent of the home gardens of Lerwick. You suspect that the oddly realistic sense of nature in this space are being piped in by herbalists. You recognize some of the signature ingredients that your mother works with. It's also one of the last places you and Jack spoke during your trials. So I think that we find you have this mission, you know that you're heading out in a couple days. You have a sense of adventure, but you have gone through a lot in this place already. And it has been home for a little over a year. And in that year, you have lived 1,000 lives, it may have felt. So those moments that you've anchored yourself here, you are about to leave behind as well. All of that is about to change. Prior to leaving, I think you find yourself here a little bit more often than usual. What are some of the things that Lavinia likes to do to sort of ground herself and be with herself?
I think Lavinia likes to journal. I think she tries to get her thoughts out as often as she can so that they can't distract her. And in journaling, I think she also learns how best to say things. It helps to practice what you wish to express before you have to express it. I think she spends a lot of time under, night skies, because that is, the hours between like 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. are always free for yourself because no one is expecting anything from you at those hours. So I think that's also why this courtyard is such a sanctuary, because here it always feels like it's that time. And it's always a little bit quieter. It's always less stressful. And yeah, I think she's down here journaling. I think because this is the last place that she and Jax had a real conversation, I think she's writing down the things she wish she had gotten to say to him and was too scared to, because she always thought there would be time. And on this like precipice of adventure that she's about to head out on, she kind of wants to make sure like everything that she wished she could have said, everything that she wants to say to other people, she gets down. Because she is probably gonna like leave some notes in her room, leave some letters just in case, because you never know. And she always wants to be as prepared as possible.
Yeah. So you're here writing all of this down in the journal. After a while, you hear some soft footsteps. Pick them up. You know, you have a very good sense of hearing, and you recognize them as those of Kaylin, one of your other closest confidants from home, who traveled alongside with you and Jax. When you came here, you were a very idealistic and optimistic trio that said, "Oh, this is going to be a great job, and we'll be able to have fame and glory and riches." And I don't think any of you were really prepared for what the past year would be. So you hear Kaylin shuffling up a little bit behind you. Liv, I thought I'd find you here.
She does something that Kaylin is she's seen Kaylin do, like Kaylin's used to this. Lavinia just smiles, holds up one finger so she can finish the thought in her head first before interacting, because she just wants to make sure she doesn't forget it. But the second it's down, she puts the book down, she stands up and just gives Kaylin the biggest hug.
You can feel in her body that she is exhausted, that she has been working overtime, both mentally and physically. You know that Kaylin did not make it as a mechanic. Kaylin was not selected to continue after the final trials, but was offered a position as a scribe in the Traversium. So she is here, she is working, doing something very different than what you know, and something that she can't really talk to you about. Again, the work that happens in the Traversium, seeking out these new verses, is no one except those who are going directly to those verses can know about. So you know that Kaylin can't really speak to you a lot, and you know that they have all been working a ridiculous amount of time, and you don't know if that is because they are trying to find new places, whether there is something wrong. You just know there is an air that is the team that does not get a break. So yeah, you just feel her sink into you a little bit, and eventually she pulls away a little bit. Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Scary. That's a natural 20.
Oh my God.
Look at that. The duality of
Whoa.
man.
The duality of man, a 1, a 20. All right. This is one of your best friends. You can read her like an open book. It seems like she is re-feeling the pain of losing Jax all over again. She knows that you're leaving, and she does not know if you're coming back. And even though I'm sure you'll be fine, Kaylin doesn't know that. And Kaylin is scared that she is about to lose her other best friend.
Seeing that, I think I do my best to keep the smile on my face, because I don't want to let on that I can see her pain, because that's something that will only make her hurt worse. So I take on a little bit of a big sister persona. Kaylin's younger than me, but when we met, she always seemed more confident in a way that I hadn't experienced yet. So in some ways, she can seem older, but in others, very much younger. And so since I've learned how to take care of myself, I've kind of been, that dynamic has kind of shifted a little bit. And here I am being like, are you eating enough? Are you sleeping enough? And I kind of reach into my pouch and I grab like 3 gold pieces. Because as much as Lavinia always wants to be there for her people, she knows sometimes she can't. But one of the things that like can help her friends is coin. And I just want to I know she won't take it. So I just throw it in her backpack.
Yeah.
Because I know she'll try to push it off on me. But I'd be like, just want to say, or just so that she knows it's there. So she can get herself a hot meal, a coffee, whatever she needs. And I'm just kind of fussing over her without asking anything about it because I know she can't tell me.
Yeah. You can tell that she notices that you do that, decides the fight is not worth the energy that she doesn't have right now. And she finally tries to sort of redirect attention. And she asks, when are you heading out?
We head out in the morning, just tying up a few loose ends. I'll be fine. I'm always fine.
Well, we were always fine. I know you'll be fine. You can take care of yourself, but I mean, you're going to a new verse we don't know about anything, and what if it's what if you go there and it's like all underwater or something and you can't breathe?
How many times has that happened? Like 2?
I can't say.
Oh, great. I think the unspoken thing here is that that Kaylin and Lavinia both feel a lot of guilt for Jax's death that I think is also unfair for both of
Mm.
them. So wanting to take care of each other is now innate.
Mm.
And so that feeling of her being like, what if something happens to you? And me seeing her exhausted, like, what if something happens to you? So we
Yeah.
keep having this like head buddy fight of like, I'm fine, it's okay.
Yeah.
We keep kind of trying to hide our own fear and exhaustion in order to like protect the other person.
Yeah.
So we kind of just go back and forth with that a little bit. I'm like, we'll be fine. I know the people on my team are fantastic. You know, they will protect me with their life because otherwise, what are they going to do?
Yeah, you've got Darius on your team, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some things about him. You know, he used to guard the Traversium.
And so he knows more than almost anyone about it, right?
Well, I hope so. Here, take this. And she hands you this like folded up piece of parchment. It's, I mean, very, very tightly folded up, tiny, tiny. She goes, don't open it yet. I just want to help you how I can. And so she puts it in your hand, kind of closes both hands over it to make sure that you take it, and just like will not break eye contact with you until you promise not to open it yet.
Okay. I promise. I promise.
What's your last meal? He tries to sort of like make light of the situation.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Probably chicken, whatever they got going. And I think that Lavinia also makes sure that like, well, if I'm gone for like this many days, write my family, write the people I care about, but like not as like ooh, she's missing, as like a write as me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
To give them peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because I can't have them like showing up, banging down doors.
Yeah.
To make sure I'm okay. Because I don't need that kind of exposure.
Totally. Yeah. Because you know that sometimes mechanics missions take years. Sometimes it is a fairly simple get there and get back, especially if it is, you know, potentially one that is a verse that's already been established, like Errol's. This is not. You are going to a new one. So it could take years. You see that she nods and promises that she will do that, and says, okay, well, they are only giving us 10 minutes for dinner. So I have to get back to work, but promise we'll be okay.
I promise. And I think she hesitates slightly before grabbing that pile of letters that she was writing. And she kind of like tries to be like, you won't need these, but like, but never hurts to be prepared for any situation. And it's kind of those like little goodbye letters that she had been writing. Again, making it as unserious as possible, but also, you know, just kind of handing them to her and just being like, I know you'll get these where they need to go, but you won't need them.
No, I won't need them. No, I won't need them. And you see again, she's laughing it off, very much not genuinely at all. Oh God. So she takes the letters from you, starts to put them away, and then one of them sort of like starts to slip out of the stack, and she catches it in her other hand and notices how heavy it is. She pockets the other ones, and then she just holds the heavy one up and looks at you. Her eyebrows are cocked, and she's not going to use words for this, because even here in the mountain, you still want to be sort of careful how you speak of this situation. So with an eyebrow cock, she looks at you and holds this heavy letter up.
And this one is addressed to her specifically. I think the air kind of gets a little chillier. And she just goes, that one is to handle the ledger. And in that instance, like, we both understand that I am speaking of a person and not a document.
Yeah. You see sort of her whole body, even in her exhaustion, you see it tense up. She goes to open the letter, looking at you for approval.
No, I hold her hands, and I'm just saying, it's just an explanation for my parents and enough money to get you somewhere safe. But you won't need it.
No, we won't need it.
You don't need it.
She puts her hand over your hands, squeezes a little bit. I'm not even going to make you roll for this. She doesn't believe you that she won't need it. Takes it, puts it away, and says, we'll make sure to be in the black. She gives your hand one more squeeze.
Oh, I just fully pull her into one more big hug.
Yeah, then she
Mhm.
very much hugs you back very, very tightly. Does a little scratch on your back with her nails. That is sort of something that you all have done before, as a like, hey, I've got your back.
Yeah.
And she heads back to Traversium.
Okay. And I sit back down and I write my journal.
Oh, my heart breaks. My heart breaks. I couldn't interrupt. That was so good, but my heart shattered.
It was really, for those who are only listening and not watching this podcast, watching Clay react so viscerally, but so silently to that whole scene.
Silently squirming and crying.
Absolute beauty.
Throwing up. Oh.
Carved into the walls, deep in the mountains, is a small village that no one ever visits. No one except you in this moment, Darius. The World Guard don't speak much, as they serve their vows to the infinite hallway in silence. An elite force, killing machines, able to work together with simply a look. And when they retire, with no remaining connections to the outside world, they are given a small hovel in this village, a honeycomb-like structure built into the underside of the mountain. It is here that your former partner, Branor, has lived for the past 2 years. He retired very shortly before your trials began. Time and effort, and perhaps something else, beating down even his tenacious body and mind. You have decided to come see him on your last night here. For whatever reason, you guarded a door together for a very, very long time. And even though you did not speak much, there is a literally unspoken bond when you do that. The shit that you see down there sometimes. It seems fitting that you, who also don't have a lot of connections outside of this place, spend your last night with him. You knock on his door, he opens it. He is ragged, but still very proud. And you notice that his hand trembles as he reaches for yours. And you can see in his eyes the effort that he is exerting to keep his handshake firm. What is sort of running through Darius's mind as you make this pilgrimage to your former mate's house?
I spent time with this man longer than I spent with my family.
Yeah.
20 years almost, guarding that door together. And we both silently saw what it was doing to us. And I think he looks at him, sees how much in the, small time he's been retired, his body has sort of lost it, but he puts on a good face and continues to treat him as though he's an equal part soldier. So while inside he knows this man is not doing well, he will put on the impression of it going great.
Yeah. I think Brenner does you the same service as well. He knows what you were when he left 2 years ago. He hasn't seen you since then. So He also, you see a flash of him sort of recognizing how different you may be in those 2 years, but he still does that firm handshake and he invites you inside. It is a small home, not poor or sparse, but it is interesting that those who devote their entire lives and health to this organization, they are given a nice little, retirement, and it is nice and little. It is effectively one room. You see the bed in the corner. You see a stack of journals, some of them and other papers, and you can see that the writing is getting less and less legible, as if he is having a hard time holding a pen anymore. But there are still just a cascade of thoughts going through his mind that he is trying to lock down and have, whether for himself to refer to later or for someone else to read. There is so much that he is trying to get out and is struggling to do so. But he invites you in. He has a kettle on. He makes you both a cup of tea. And he wasn't expecting you, and yet he still is immediately hospitable. And so he hands you this cup of tea. Again, you see his hand shaking as it's handing you the cup, and he goes, "Oh, well, what a
Same as always, Granar. Man, a few words, huh?
you know, few words are good."
Retirement is keeping you
Yeah.
busy, I see.
Well, weird to not hold a sword every day. Gotta hold something. But are you big shot now?
We have our first mission tomorrow.
You know where?
Nope.
Classic.
It's just, what do you think we'll find out there?
There's more that they're not. There's more. And you see him he shuts his eyes very closely, and you see that his mind is being racked with probably both physical and emotional pain, honestly. He gets up and goes over to the stack of journals, and he grabs one and thrusts it into your hand. And you see over and over again, he's done drawings here, and they are just multiple levels of lines laid on top of each other, creating this infinite geometric shape. And he points to it pretty aggressively, and he's like, that we're here and then not, but at the same time, it's all one. I think you'll find answers. You just have to make sure they tell them to you.
Who?
And you see this 1,000-yard stare go out. And then he comes back and he goes, it's not, I don't think they know what they're dealing with. I don't think we know what we're dealing with.
I take a sip of my tea and sort of join him a little bit in silence. And I look at him and I say, do you ever wish you were a mechanic?
I wish I had answers for all the questions in my head. And I think if I had seen more of this world that we have found ourselves in, instead of the world just seeing me, I think I could find some peace.
We sit there in silence for a little bit. How are the shakes? I ask him.
Yeah, well, the medics have upped my dosage of the tincture. It doesn't really seem to be doing much anymore. Can't really sleep.
I laugh a little bit and I go, I don't think retirement would suit me. All this writing and art.
You don't get these visions?
Some. of dark places.
Mm.
Any advice, old chap?
I
We
think-
could get a perfect world. Easy, breezy, maybe an endless summer.
Endless summer. Wouldn't you get bored?
Probably.
I think you're doing the right thing. Going out there, making the most of what you have. I think that's the right choice. I think if I had been able to stretch these muscles in a different way, I think maybe I hope that you find a better retirement in non-retirement. Do you think you'll ever be here?
Not if I have my way. I don't really see this as a return trip.
That's what I thought.
You like the theme, though? Not really. One of them speaks a lot.
I don't like many people except for you, Darius. And he kind of slaps you on the back a little bit. You understand me.
Yeah, in more ways than you think. I don't know if the guild has told us everything. Even us world guards.
I think that doubt is right. I don't know what they haven't told us, but even more, I don't know what they don't know.
Do you trust them?
He thinks for a really long time. And roll me an insight.
Which modifier? Hello, everybody. This is a moment where I take a little bit of a pause to look at you and say, I know this, but I don't really know this. But I believe insight is under wisdom.
Yeah.
It is.
Are you proficient?
You gotta be under the insight.
Look, I have a plus.
Yeah.
Is that plus
it's
3?
a 3.
Plus 3.
Insightful.
1, 8.
A 19 plus 3.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, you know this man better than anyone. This was your brother. This was, you stood by this door together for 20 years. You know every little tick of muscle and what it could possibly mean. So you see that he takes this pause, and this is not one of his moments of 1,000-yard stares. This is lucid contemplation. He is truly, truly thinking about what to tell you, and more specifically, what he feels. Does he trust the guild? I think this is a question that he is struggling with. The guild was his entire life. They are his entire death, effectively, at this point. For him, there is nothing else. He is at the end of his rope. There is no more to be had for him. And I think you can see in his eyes that he hopes there is more rope for you. He does not want you to end in this, sure, comfortable, but dead end retirement. He hopes that you can find, whether that is answers, whether that is excitement, whether that is growth or a different part of life, or whether it is just peace. He really genuinely hopes that you find that. And he finally looks back at you and he says, I don't think my trust matters anymore. But for what it's worth, I think they're doing their best.
I look him straight in the eye. I nod softly. And I say, I don't know if I always trust them, but I know I believe in them. I get up. I sip the last part of my tea. I make my way towards the door. I look at him. And I say, I don't know how to not be a soldier. Do you?
He looks at you and he says, I don't think it's about being a soldier. I think it's about being a fighter. And I think that we all have to be.
I hope this isn't our last goodbye, old friend.
I'll keep the kettle on.
And then I open the door, and I will make my way out.
I'm crying. I'm literally currently
Oh my
crying.
god, he is!
I'm
Oh my gosh, tears!
genuinely crying.
Aw,
Oh.
genuine tears.
Oh, first
I-
tears!
I love a scene of two men being able to, in their way, express emotion and talk about their fucking feelings.
That was
Hell
great.
yeah.
That was great.
Revolutionary.
That
It
was
shouldn't
great.
be revolutionary.
And
but
yet
thank
here we
you.
are, being revolutionary. But that all seems so long ago. Again, hard to track the passage of time, especially when the constellations here don't match the ones you know. Not really. The stars still greet you every night, but the stories they tell regale different heroes and villains and creatures. The sun also sets quickly here. You've worked out that nightfall lasts about 16 hours here at this time of year. There's a lot of darkness, only about 8 hours of traversable daylight. And you anticipate that you should start looking for a place to set up camp for the evening soon. You are on this sort of cliffside. So it's very sparse scrub bush. To the west, specifically, it is the ocean. To the east would be going down the cliffs and into unknown forests. You know that the device the Artifice Wing has given you, the way that it is pointing you is north. So you are continuing on this cliff north, anticipating that you will come upon a town soon. But it has been a while. It has been several days since you have been in an actual town. And this has sort of been your life for the past few days.
Trying to catch his breath, Argo's going to shout up to Darius, who I assume is leading the pack, and say, "How much further until we can find just a good spot to rest?"
Probably another hour or so.
Oh, could it be cut back to a half an hour?
I look over at Lavinia.
Can I make an insight check on how Argo is feeling? If I think he can make it a full
Yeah.
hour? Or perception? Or...
Yeah. Are you trying to hide this at all, Argo?
No.
Then
I'm
I think
trying
let's
to
do
say what I need.
let's do perception.
Okay.
I think this is a little bit. I know there's a blurry line between those two, but I think you're looking for physical signs of him dying at this point.
18 plus 2, dirty 20.
Yeah, he's fucking dying.
He's smaller. He's not built for this. There's been a lot of hiking.
Been a lot of hiking.
I think we can maybe in a half hour find somewhere appropriate.
I frown a little bit. I decide that what's 30 minutes more, what's 30 minutes less. I dump my bags down on the floor and begin to set up camp.
Oh, fair.
Oh, great. That's better. That's great. I'm a big fan of compromise. Good teamwork. Good teamwork. You go, baby. You go.
Sorry, my question was, do we have enough supplies to make it another night in the wilderness, or do we kind of need to rest now, but then push forward? Otherwise, we're kind of left without anything.
No, ration-wise, you're okay. Because
Okay.
again, these missions, no one knows how long they're going to be. No one knows how civilized any of these worlds are. There have been verses that have not really had places of civilization or socialization, and so it has been about living off the land. So some of your skills also include knowing how to take care of yourselves in unknown biomes. So you have enough rations as it is here. This world has seemed fairly similar to your own in terms of climate, as well as some animal life. You have seen rats and deer and birds that are very similar to your own. So between the rations you have and your hunting abilities, you think you're okay.
I find us a spot that's pretty flat and close to some sort of rocks on this cliffside, so there's some protection from the elements, and I begin to set up a fire.
Yeah, roll me a survival check real quick and let's see what kind of space you find.
Oh, great, I have a +3, everybody.
Can I actually roll, or not?
No,
Maybe
you
not roll, but can I help with that? I've got something that might make things a bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can help.
So when Darius drops all of his bags off, I quickly go, okay, Cups, your time to shine, buddy. and popping off my shoulder is my little clockwork companion, Cups, who rolls down the length of my arm and hops the rest of the distance down to the earth and starts bringing out a little flint and steel so that he can strike it and get your spark going once you've got ample, what's it called? Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the delightful little robot down there. I lift up a single eyebrow. I don't really trust it yet, but it has proven quite useful.
Yeah.
But any sort of machinery it's very confusing to me. Not in a bad way, just in an intriguing way.
You're worried about machines coming to take our
Yeah.
jobs.
It's like a grandpa refusing to use a computer. Like, all right, I don't get it.
Happy, you can check your
I
email.
just look at
Voice
him with my eyebrow raised and watch him set the fire while I just deal with the tents then.
Yeah. So you can roll this with advantage. So roll 2d20 and take the highest.
2d20s.
Yeah, that's help, baby.
Wow.
How much advantage does Cups give me?
Just 2d20.
That's all that's
that's
So
what
well,
that
okay,
is.
so do I add my 2d20s?
No.
Baby, what'd you get?
A 5 and a 3. I chose the highest, so just 5 plus my survival, which is 3, 8.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, you did add
it's
them
not great, but
together.
it's fine. Yeah, so you are looking for like a well-protected spot on this crag. There really isn't one. You see, like, again, there's not a lot of foliage. There's not a lot of trees or rocks or anything, but you do find one area that's like kind of high scrub-ish that you are like, if we're here, it we'll be more protected from the elements here. We might not be protected from creatures as much. And you are able to start setting up camp and get a fire going there.
As long as we're warm. Good job, bud. All right, climb up. Hop up. Hop. And he does a little, there's like springs in his legs, and so he pudding, like the Pixar lamp jumps up onto my hand again, and I tuck him back on my shoulder.
I'm so obsessed with cups.
Cups uppies.
Cups uppies, cups uppies,
Cups
uppy cup,
upsies.
uppy cup, uppy
Uppy.
cup,
Cuppies.
cup up.
Amazing.
Did we have a water source nearby our camp?
Oh, that does remind me. I've been working on something here, and Arga's going to produce like this hulking sort of clockwork machine and set it down. And I go, this is what I've been tinkering with for the last couple of nights. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, working title, but it's a water recycler. So it turns I see the face you're making. I see the face. Hear me out. It turns waste back into drinkable water.
What waste?
Well, fluid waste. It turns. Okay, so that's a no from
Thank you so much, Argo.
Worst
That's
case
actually it's so helpful. I hope we never have to use it.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
It wasn't an insult.
I plop myself down, and as the fire rages, I begin to cook whatever rations we have. I ing out of the corner of my eye Argo to make sure he doesn't bring any of his apparatus near the food. But I could begin to cook as the sun, I'm guessing, begins to slowly set over this night.
I guess while they're settling, I can take my short bow and try to find something in the little forest area that's nearby.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a survival as well?
If
Cool.
you can, no more rats. I feel like I've had enough for a lifetime. I'm not telling you how to do your job. I am telling you how to
It
do
sounds
your
like
job.
you're complaining, and I
No, you're right.
am doing my best.
You're killing it.
There's no one to talk to, and that's what I'm best at.
You talk
So
to me.
you'll eat the rats.
I'll eat the rat.
Thank you. Survival. Interesting. All right, we got it. 12.
Okay. Yeah, so you go off into the sparse forest there. You find rats. I'm sorry. I was gonna give you something else, but with a 12, I can't give
I don't
you
know,
more
maybe
than
a
rats.
rabbit?
You do find a rabbit, and you are not quick enough.
Lavinia is suddenly regretting the fact that she could not pick up stealth from her friends on the street. She's just a little too loud, a little too exuberant. So rats it is.
Yeah, so you're able to grab two pretty plump rats and bring
Fat
them back.
rat.
Fat rat.
Fat rat stew.
Better than a flat rat.
Is it?
Yeah, fat rat. More meat on the
Right,
on the
that's
bone.
fair. That's fair. Fat
Flat
rat
rat's
stew.
too crispy.
You've got fried rat and you've got stew rat.
Oh, goodness. All right.
When you're making your way back, Argo's going to be finishing the last of ritual casting because he's got 3 levels of artificer, but he's got 1 level of wizard as his multi-class, so he can ritual cast from his spell book without having the spell prepared. So he'll be casting alarm. I'll do aloud, so part of the spell is setting up a little ringing bell. So if anybody other than us enters our 20-foot cube immediately around us, we will ring in the
Great.
middle of the night. Just like that. Yeah,
Thank
and it'll
you.
come from cups.
It's
He's got like a-
Cups
His
like
little
banging
couple little-
2 little cymbals together like
Yeah,
the
like a-
monkeys that do
Incredible.
that. Cups is an alarm. That's great. Okay, yeah.
Great. Well, I set to making a cutie little stew. And I'm going to do what I can with the criticism I've been given, and I'm going to cast prestidigitation on the meal so that it at least doesn't taste like rat.
Ooh, what are you making it taste like?
Rabbit.
So you're the one that rolled a 12. Yeah, you cast prestidigitation on these rats. As you all eat them, you're like, my brain knows that I'm eating rat, but I'm not eating rat.
This
My
one's
tongue
good.
doesn't know
It
this.
tastes
This
great.
one- yeah,
It's
this one's
perfectly
better.
seasoned.
It's like it's like chewy, but in a night. It's not gamey.
Yeah,
Maybe everything tastes like rat. Maybe that's the thing.
maybe. Wow.
Rat tastes like chicken.
Yeah, maybe in this world, rat is chicken,
Oh.
and everything tastes like rat.
You know what? It's not so bad then. I take back my former. Not quite.
Thank you for admitting you were wrong.
That's not what I.
That's
said.
what I heard.
That's
and I
nice.
thank you for it.
nice.
Great teamwork, everybody.
So you all are around the campfire tonight. You've had your meal, and you've been in this world for a couple months. This is your first mission together. This is your first mission ever. You would have learned a lot through the trials, and a lot of your tests are about this. You know that the point of once these verses are discovered, and you are able to travel to them through a one-way spell from the Traversium, the only way to get back is to find these elements that have that ability to travel between verses, to split them in half, and then when you do that, when you touch them, it will transport you home. And so you need to take some of it with you and leave some of it here. And that is what determines that transportation between the 2 verses. And then the architects do a lot more about actually making the doors and whatnot. But that is the base, is find the element, could be anywhere. And it is a consistent that every verse you have found has had one of these elements here. You all have seen halves of elements, the halves that have been brought back to the guild. You've been shown 1 half of an element. You do not know if there is variance in these. You do not know exactly what you are looking for. You just know that you are looking for this incredibly powerful arcane energy source.
And the detector that we have from the Traversium
Mhm.
that will
From the artifice wing.
from the artifice wing that kind of points our way, but it can look like anything.
it points you towards, it's sort of like a radar that's like you're getting closer to the source. It's not going to
Gotcha.
tell you exactly where you are.
Okay.
It's like a metal detector,
Okay.
but for this energy source.
Cool.
So you can tell that it is pointing you in this direction because of the strength of the
At least
signal.
we have a heading.
Mhm.
Universes are big.
Mm-hmm.
That is why they had to make this gadget, because it was taking more than just a few years to find some things before.
I sit there patiently and begin to sharpen my very big sword. Preparing. I don't need to talk much. So, and even though we have the spell from our dear artificer,
Yeah.
First try.
there's nothing like a good pair of human eyes. So I decided I'll still probably do the first shift of watch tonight.
Nose goes on second watch. I gave you a long time.
You said the
I
words
did.
and then gave me time to hear
to
your
hear the
words.
Yeah, I did.
Fine. It's okay. I
For
know I
those
can use
listening
this
at
thing.
home, Argo will be taking, do you want second or third watch?
I'll be taking the third watch.
Great. Yep.
Is there anything to climbing a tree and seeing if I can see any like lights from a town or city or smoke?
Yeah, sure. Let's call this an investigation.
Love that for me. Ass. I rolled ass. Investigation is 5.
Yeah, there are just not any trees in this area that really look like they're weight bearing, let alone are tall enough to give you a good vantage point.
Great. Thought I'd try.
But you also know, being here on the coast, it is close to the ocean. It is likely that there is establishments in this area. That's sort of why you've stayed on the water,
Mhm.
because if anyone is looking, was looking to establish a place, probably close to a water source. So the moon has risen. Again, you see the constellations that are not the ones that you know, but they still somehow inspire curiosity and wonder and hope. And you probably wonder what myths are told about these stars. And it is a quiet night. Nothing really happens. You get to watch the sunrise, which again, there are only about 8 hours of daylight here. So being able to get every moment of that is really lovely. And you watch that sun come up.
With the atmosphere here,
Mhm.
is a sunrise still like orange, pink sky?
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's one of his favorite things.
Yeah.
He loves that color.
Yeah, it's a very pretty color. For a moment I was like, is it green? No. It's, again, this world is very similar to yours, which is potentially something that is interesting to you. You've heard a lot about these verses. Again, any information about ones that have been discovered is public information. You've met some of the ambassadors on the council are from these other verses. So that there are some differences, but it does feel like there are almost more similarities than there are differences.
I think the one thing that he will do when he allows himself to not be dutifully watching is he'll pull out his own notebook and repeatedly try and start scratching out to write a letter to Aurel if anything happens.
Yeah. Let's see if
it gets as far as the SpongeBob and then he has to crumple it up.
And then his no, can't do it. Yeah. Oh, interesting. And that she was heading off very shortly after you.
Mhm.
So as far as you know, she is on her mission right now as well.
Yeah. Hoping it's as analogous to our universe as this one is.
Analogous.
Guess we'll find out.
What? For the folks at home, what does that mean?
Analogous, similar.
Oh, I got it.
An analog of.
Oh, cool.
So you pack up camp, you start on your way, and you stay on this path, civilization close to water, as Daria said. So you keep this up for a few more days. And as you start to sort of descend down the cliff and get more into farmland, you do see in the distance another small village, a little bit larger than what you've seen before, but it is a village. And at this point, your artifice device is really buzzing. It is looking like you are getting very, very close.
Oh my God.
Or at least, if that's how you're reading it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've never seen how spicy these can get.
You do not know
it's
what
only ever stronger than yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So
you don't know what the ceiling is. You know what the floor is, but not the ceiling.
But this is pretty far from the floor.
Yeah, we're pretty far from the floor. Yeah. We're at least, getting to the penthouse level.
I do see Argo's excitement and very calmly tell him, Wizard boy, finding the element is easy. Obtaining it is harder.
The Mechanics Guild is written and played by Sarah Davis Reynolds, Carlina Parker, Attilio Rigotti, and Clay Westman. Music is by Clay Westman. Additional music and writing is by Taylor Fagins. Theme song is by Arcane Anthems. Editing is by Attilio Rigotti. The Mechanics Guild is produced by Ian Prince. Be sure to check out our socials to stay up to date with all things guild related and subscribe, all the algorithm things so we can keep breaking the rules together. Okay, bye!